I surrender all things unto Thee. I am not withholding anything. I am keeping no mental images in my mind to be concerned about. The enlightened consciousness that is attained is itself the health and the bread and the meat and the wine. It is not that you gain enlightenment and then do something with it, but when you receive enlightenment you have nothing further to do, for it is doing and being. You are but the beholder of what this light is doing. A spiritually awakened person is completely satisfied with the people of this world because he knows them as they really are, and even though he sees the discords and problems that they are experiencing, he also knows that these are no part of their real being. Therefore he looks with compassion on those whom he knows are in ignorance of their true identity or those who do not understand the nature of God's world. We are always judging by the limitation of our finite senses. We are not seeing the world as it is, we are seeing this world as our mind interprets it, as we live the life of contemplation. Therefore, we find ourselves gradually withdrawing judgment from appearances, and when we see, or when we are told about erroneous appearances, we do not react to them, and they do not register in our consciousness, and, as far as we are concerned, our mind is a blank. We have no desire to change, alter, or improve the appearance presented to us. We are just beholders waiting for God to reveal it to us as it is. Man cannot have his way with God. Man cannot get God to do his will or his way, and therefore, the next need is to become a beholder, because, since you cannot influence God, you can at least watch what God is doing. An inner grace that eventually lives their lives for them. We should refrain from desiring anything from God, putting our entire hope in this truth: Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things, and Thy grace is operative and operating now. Relax by realizing cause must maintain its individualizations. It is your function to be a beholder, to let God express itself, while you watch the activity and enjoy it. Take the attitude that He knows our needs better than we do, and turn within only for the impartation of His word. Our newfound strength of character is quickly noticed, the shining face sometimes appearing even as a halo above one's head, the firmness in authority and decisiveness in approach becoming increasingly apparent. From this moment on you should be less interested in what God or the infinite way can do for you, and more interested in God's illumining you so that you may be a transparency for this message to the world. In not loving, hating, or fearing that which appears in the physical or mental realm, we break the mesmeric dream of a selfhood or universe apart from God. When you talk to employer, employee, tradespeople, friends, or relatives, inwardly greet every one of them. Greetings, child of God. I salute in you the Christ of God. Acknowledging God continuously, God as the source of your food, God as the source of your intelligence, God as the source of your spiritual strength, God as the infinity of your supply. When you come to that point where you consciously remind yourself in 1,000 different ways that all that the Father is, is flowing into expression as your individual being. One day you arrive at the place where you really believe it and have the conviction of it. Any demand that is made upon you is not made upon you, but upon the Christ of your being. Therefore, you have no right to react to it. Sierra as hypnotism, having no more substance than a shadow. So what? You must learn to live as if there were no yesterdays, as if there had been no mistakes yesterday and no sins yesterday. You have to tear up your entire past consciously and actively and live as if today were the only day given you to live. If you try to relive yesterday, you will be reliving its mistakes and errors, so you might as well make up your mind to let bygones be bygones. Our mistakes are over and done with, our sins are over and done with, our fears are over and done with. When you have so raised up this Son of God in you, you are the child of God, and you live not by taking thought for your life. Never again is it possible to be tempted to accept the belief that you must demonstrate anything other than a continuous realization of this indwelling presence, because it becomes the form of fulfillment. Until you can arrive at this recognition and conviction, and until you come to an inner assurance that there is this He within you, this I, because of whom you need not fear, you can go no further, and your tomorrows will be no different from your yesterdays. Do not try to go beyond this revelation, regardless of how many months or years it may take for you to reach the absolute conviction. Where I am, God is. I need never fear, I need never be afraid. This presence is with me, this I is within me. I am invisible, I am omnipresence, I am omnipotence, I am omniscience. You prove this by not taking thought, by being still, and be led in the omniscience that I am revealed to you. Whatever wisdom, guidance, or direction is necessary at this moment. You prove this by being still in a listening attitude, letting omnipotence prove itself to be the only power. You prove this by taking no thought for your life or anything that concerns you life, and letting omnipresence prove omnipresence.